Let's get this situation going. Yes, I am live today. Okay, let's make sure that our Instagram folks know they can come over here. I do this every time. I need to figure out a better way to communicate to you all that you should just come to YouTube. All right. All right, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wait, let me make sure I share this link on Threads so that folks know that I am live. All right, I'm coming. Give me a second, y'all. Okay. So, as we suspected, people are losing their minds. You know, as a result of Trump's election. I've seen some really, really, really weird things. And I have concerns. I have concerns. Well, first of all, when they talk about the male loneliness epidemic, I see it. I see who the dudes are that reacting and how they are reacting. And I'm like, no wonder you don't get no pussy. Like, you are Herb. You are corny. And you ugly. Nick Fuentes looks like he baby showers once a week. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just being honest. I am eating, you guys. I am eating. No, that fool look like he don't bathe. So he posted on Twitter. I'm never gonna call that shit X. Kiss my ass. He posted on Twitter, your body, my choice. And I'm trying to see if I can find the tweet. I had it here. No, I'm not even going to click on that website. First of all, shout out to everybody who has come over to Threads. You finally abandoned Twitter. Welcome. We have made a comfortable home on Threads. We are also here on YouTube. We are still using some other ways that are not owned by Elon Musk, who just bought an election. Elon Musk just bought the United States, right? Pretty cheap too. Who knew that the United States was a cheap slut? It's great. You're gonna be a slut, be a good slut, be a monetizing slut. So Nick Fuentes goes and he says, "My body, my choice," and then there's this video of him. I was trying to find that, but I actually don't want to look at his face, and I don't want to give it any more views. There's a video of him like kind of jumping around and we own you now. You're our property now. And this is also the same guy who was like, worried that there wasn't enough racism and misogyny in the GOP. This is also the man that had, that was invited to dinner with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump went and said that he didn't know who he was, but he absolutely knew who he was, because Donald Trump hangs out with white supremacists. So I want to tell y'all a little story real quick what happened today. I'm talking about my food. Oh, it's all right. So I've been hesitant about going to my local bar. I, again, live in Whitelandia, which is now dubbed Trumplandia. But when I go to the bar, it's like one space I can go to kind of get out my house. I know the people there. They know me by name. It really is like I walk in like Norm from Cheers. Like, they're like, Michelle, everybody knows me. It's all good. But a lot of Trump support there, right? One of the owners is a really big Trump supporter. He's also very stupid. I'll talk to him and be nice, but he's actually like very, very, very unintelligent. Not a smart guy at all. Doesn't know how to use words correctly. It's just a whole thing. But his father was a really big jazz musician, and that's all I'll say. Anyway, big Trump supporter, in his 50s, walking around with a Hawk Tuah 24 shirt. He's that kind of guy, right? I was like, maybe I just won't go back. Maybe I just won't go back. Sorry to see in the comments. How y'all doing? Anyway. But then I thought about one of the bartenders there. It is a sister. And, this is her job. This is one of her main jobs. This is like her main job. And I know she works Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights, right? So I just went over today. I knew she'd be there Saturday. Everybody works on Saturdays. And I went over and I was like, "Oh, I really don't want to come here, but let me see." And I went and it was all right. I was talking to her and just kind of asking her how she was, and she was just like, it's not easy, but that's her job, right? And she's the only Black person that works there. So I was like, if you need me to come every shift that you have, I'll come through, just to make sure you all right, because I know this is a hostile environment for you. She was like, no, I think I'll be all right. She's like, but they was just acting real stupid. Like they're like not very smart. And I said, yeah, these voters are not very smart. Like they're just not. And so I started getting loud. Like I started getting loud. Yeah, Vanessa, you said, I hate that we have to stop enjoying spaces we used to because of this mess. Right. So, and I was just like, yeah, they are actually stupid. These people think that the prices of groceries are going to go down. These people think that, the tariffs are not going to affect them. Like I raised my voice but I was talking to her, right? See, subversion is a thing. Y'all got to know how to signify and how to be subversive in these spaces, right? And she's not as knowledgeable either, but she voted for Kamala and she wanted Kamala to win. And she asked me, who'd you vote? I said, I didn't vote for her either. but you know what it is. So I was just talking like mad shit. And then this one guy comes up, he's like, and he taps me on my shoulder. And I said, can you not touch me, please? I don't want no old white man touching me, please. I got trauma. And he asked me, that thing about the tariffs, I don't think that you're right about it. I said, oh, what do you know about tariffs? Then he starts. So I said, I'm going to stop you right there. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, peace, Dr. Ware. No, they're very brainwashed. Not just brainwashed, they're just fucking stupid. Like even when you're brainwashed, a lot of times, sometimes you can make some, original thoughts, coherent thoughts, and maybe think critically. No, these people are not smart. So he's like challenging me on tariffs. And he was like, oh, I didn't get your name or whatever. I said, oh, it's Dr. Taylor. And he's like, oh. And I'm like, whatever. You dumb. It's okay. Pour me a drink. So that happened. But anyway, I think I see Katie in there already. Okay. We got to talk about this. I'm going to share. We got to talk about this, y'all. Because these people are trying to steal our shine. All right. Let's pull this in. All right. So, let me see. CNN decides to report after Trump's win, some women are considering the 4B movements. Hold up. Pause. This is not after Trump. And I feel like we ought to talk about this because there's something to be said about people pretending that women haven't been kind of standing up for themselves in the United States. I'm not really sure why they think that women in the United States have just been kind of going along with the bullshit that they've been experiencing at the hands of men, because they absolutely have not. For those who don't know what the 4B movement is, Katie, help me out. I've been drinking some blood orange margaritas with tahini rims that I made myself. No booty, right? Wait, what is it? No, I probably could just look at the thing, right? No, I know no babies, no sex, no marriage, no dating. That's it, yeah. But I'm assuming that the B is because the words in Korean are different. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm here to learn, you guys. Anyway, no dating, marriage, babies, or sex. And in South Korea, it's South Korea, right? I just want to make sure. They're not doing this with men. They've decided, we're not doing it. And I read that they don't even really have many children going into like kindergarten or first grade or second grade or whatever the equivalent is over there, because they stop moving. They stop like having babies, and they're not doing nothing with the dudes. So their population isn't moving. There's no growth. And I was just like, yo, that's crazy. Awesome too, because they had such high rates of abuse and femicide, and the women took it upon themselves. They were like, we're not doing it anymore. We're not rewarding you abusers because you think you're entitled to us, and we're telling you that you're not, right? And so that movement has been around for a while, but they're not the only ones that have been doing stuff like that, right? There's been this kind of divestment movement happening among many African American women who have just been like, no, we are tired of being abused. We are tired of being beaten. We're tired of being abandoned. We're tired of being mistreated. Why do we have higher fatality rates as a result of domestic violence? Why do we have, all these issues that are affecting us more just related to being partnered with Black men? And there's a lot of women who have divested. They're saying, we're not doing that. And, I can see so many things from so many different sides. I can't divest because I love dick. I do. I love to fuck. I'm sorry, my sisters. I'm going to have sex because I love it. However, I'm only going to do it with somebody I feel is worth it. Like, I just went 8 months with no booty. I'm sharing since we can be open. We can be open. Like, we're family, right? At this point, we're family. That was a long time for you, girl. That was a long time for you, girl. We took care of that situation, but that was a long time for you, girl. However, I'm discerning. And I'm just like, well, no, I'm not going to be, hot in the ass like I was as a younger woman. It was a fun time, I tell you. I got stories. Other people got stories that I don't even remember because I don't even remember all the stories. It was a time. Just listen, if we can't be honest here. So I don't think that I could give up one of the B's. Now, I'm not having no babies. I'm not getting married to none of y'all. I do date men for the purposes of them spending money on me. Yeah, my kid just turned 18. I ain't having no more. I'm good. However, it has proven wildly effective, but also wildly damaging for the South Korean population. And it's their own fault. Similarly, in China, they're having issues with the population because of their one-child policy that they had for so long. And all the, patriarchy had people, getting rid of the girls. And now they ain't got nobody to marry. And now they don't have nobody to procreate with. This is a catastrophe, right? So we see what happens when patriarchy, kind of takes hold, and what it can do to completely destroy cultures, economies, things like that, all because of these damn colonizers, right? So CNN is trying to say that in the hours and days since it became clear that Donald Trump would be reelected president of the United States, there's been a surge of interest in the U.S. for 4B. Young liberal women across TikTok and Instagram are discussing and sharing information about the South Korean feminist movement in which straight women refuse to marry, have children, date, or have sex with men. Now listen, if you follow me, you know that I talk about refusing coffee dates. I'm tired of you all going on coffee dates. I'm tired of you settling for the low-hanging fruit. I'm sorry. I'm tired of you all making excuses for it. Well, it's easier to leave a coffee date. Get your ass up out the fucking seat and leave whenever you want to. I don't understand why so many of you are afraid, literally afraid, to get up out of your seats and say, thank you for coming out. God bless and good night. Leave. You do not have to stay at a dinner. You don't have to stay at lunch or brunch. 15-minute coffee. Why the fuck am I putting clothes on wasting gas, possibly paying a toll to go to another state. Why would I do that for some goddamn coffee? A motherfucking diuretic. Excuse my cousin, because this gets on my nerves. Y'all be pissing me off. Why am I doing all that for something that's going to make me shit? It's going to send me to the bathroom for the rest of the day. Why am I doing it? Oh, well, you could get tea. Tea is cheaper. And so what we're trying to share with you all is that there has been this movement in the manosphere, right? People like Andrew Tate and Nick Fuentes and all these others are telling men that women are not worth spending money on, that women have to prove that they are worth spending money on. And the way you vet them and to see if this woman is worth your time or if she's going to be a gold digger is that you lowball her for the first few dates. You tell her that you got, that your money's tight to see how she reacts. Your reaction, women, should always be, okay, well, let me know when you got money. That's always your reaction. Don't ever accept that bullshit. I am tired of y'all. Stop accepting that bullshit. Oh, my money's kind of tight. Or, could we just go on a walk date? Walk your ass over and get a job. Because instead of going out with me on a Friday evening, your ass could be making some money. That's the only walk you need to be doing. Okay. You're going to offer me some goddamn coffee. And then you want to meet at Starbucks. That's how I know you're a loser. Okay. Stop. You know who you are. Stop. Anyway, second of all, and if you could go on Threads and look up the hashtag CoffeeGate, it is me and Katie telling y'all to stop settling for that shit. Okay? But that's what they do. They want to go on a walk date. They want to get you coffee. You're thinking, oh, this is for safety. You know what is safe? A big restaurant with a lot of people in it in the middle of the evening, sitting at a table right in the middle. That's safe. What can they do to you then? Oh, well, they're going to expect, if we go out and we have dinner on the first date, they're going to expect sex. They expect sex if you look at them for more than 5 seconds. Okay? Please cut the shit. Okay? Oh, I don't want to feel like I owe them. You don't owe nobody shit. Who raised y'all? This is maybe the question. Maybe this is the question. I'm going to have a drink. Maybe this is the question. Who raised you to not be confident enough to have autonomy? You all out here voting, and I'm voting for bodily autonomy, but you can't tell somebody at dinner, I don't want to be here anymore and I'm going to go. Here's my half of the bill. You take care. You all don't know how to get up when you're from an uncomfortable situation, but yet you're talking about you ready to fight. What the hell was you fighting for? Kamala got out here saying, when we fight, we win, but y'all are afraid to leave somebody's company. What we doing here? Stop it. To the women who date men, stop letting these people lowball you. You stop suggesting calls. Okay. Here's the other excuse. Okay. People say, oh, it's not the same. We can't get the vibe. Y'all are following me right now. You think you can't pick up on a motherfucking vibe from me? What can you tell from the last 10 minutes of you watching me? What can you tell about my personality? You can tell a whole lot. You can read my body language. You can see my face. You know that I like to drink. You know that I talk with food in my mouth. You have learned all these things. You can see my background. You can see what my office looks like. I'm not going to show you the messy part. That's okay. But you can get a sense of who I am. And I've been on here for 18 minutes. That's all it takes. Because y'all talking about a 15-minute coffee date. You ain't even had to leave your house. You can't meet with somebody like this. It's not the same. Okay, the only thing is that you can't smell them. And that's okay. If you meet up for lunch, meet up for brunch, meet up for dinner, and they smell funny, you know what you don't have to do? You don't have to sit there and smell the stank. Have some motherfucking gumption. Where's your courage? They about to round you young people up and have y'all sitting there as fucking concubines and you can't leave a date? Fuck out. I need you all to start acting like you understand the power of patriarchy and manipulation and all of the sexism and all the shit that you have all internalized over these years. Okay? You are not weaker than these men. You are not inferior to these men. They do not deserve to lead shit just because they have penises. Get the fuck out of here. Okay? And too many of you believe that. You believe that men are supposed to be the leader. They're supposed to be the head of the household, the head of the family, all these things simply because they have a dick. That's telling me to take my birth control. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's like I get frustrated because on one side of y'all mouth, y'all talking about y'all ready to fight for freedom and you're fighting for democracy. But on the other side of your mouth, you're saying, well, I just wanted to meet for 15 minutes for coffee because I don't want to leave in the middle of a lunch. It's not, and I want to be rude. Fuck rude. If you're having lunch with someone and it's going so bad that you're just like, I'm really uncomfortable and I can't be here. You know how easy it is to get your ass up and walk out? But if it's not that bad and you just kind of, just talking, whatever, maybe they're not the vibe, it's okay. You have a meal. You telling me you can't just have a meal with somebody? You don't know how to make it through a meal? You lack the conversational skills and engagement to just, you know what? You know how many first dates I've been on where almost 10 minutes in, I was just kind of like, yeah, this is probably not going to be it, but I can have a good evening. I can have a good meal, have some conversation or whatever. It's not hard. Well, that's if you go out on dates. And I don't think a lot of you actually be going out on dates. I think that's also part of the problem. You don't know how to act. It's just ridiculous. Okay. It is. But anyway, tying this back to people like Nick Fuentes and Andrew Tate and all these other folks, they have convinced all these men that you women are not worth anything. And now that Trump has won, we're seeing an explosion of sexist rhetoric, right? We talked about the racist texts and stuff that they sent out. We just talked about that. But they're on their sexism shit. Like, that's more important to them, actually, than the racism, right? Especially for the white ones, because they've always believed that they could rape Black women. There's nothing that's ever gotten in the way of them thinking that. But now they feel they have carte blanche to do this to white women, right? And remember, I've told you guys many times, there's nobody the white man hates more than the white woman. You might think that it's, Black people or, immigrants. No. There is nobody the white man hates more than the white woman, because that is the only person that could threaten his power. And so they absolutely will be feeling empowered and emboldened to treat women however they want. And they're going to start with you. And so what's going to happen? What's going to happen is this. And this is when things are going to get tricky. I ain't going to have nothing to do with it. I'm going to actually be kind of standing back. I'm going to be armed, but I'm going to be standing back, because when it pops off, it's going to get ugly. What's going to happen is Susan, and please, if I use names and it happens to be your name, I'm not talking about you. Don't be offended. Susan's going to have a 16-year-old daughter, and her best friend, Trudy, is going to have a 17-year-old son. And that 17-year-old son, family voted for Trump, supports all of that. That 17-year-old son has been listening to these podcasters, has been on 4chan, and he now feels empowered that he can go ahead and rape her daughter. He's going to rape the daughter, right? Then what you're going to do? There's going to be like an implosion in the MAGA movement around this issue, because you're going to have the women who were secretly voting to keep abortion on the ballot, keep abortion in the Constitution and stuff like that. They're going to have their daughters, and they're going to be worried about the safety of their daughters once they start seeing how their friends' sons are acting. Okay? They're going to have buyer's remorse. Now, I'm here to protect and defend all, victims of sexual violence. So it's not me being on some good for them. No, we never say shit like that. And sidebar, I've been reading about people saying that they've seen Black women, or even just Black people, but they've been using Black women and saying that they've seen some Black women who have made some really hellacious comments about deporting immigrants and, not caring about Palestine and things like that. Fuck you, bitches. 18 ways on Sunday. We don't do that over here. We don't do that over here. We don't wish violence on anybody, right? You're not going to hear me wish violence on the MAGA people because I fundamentally understand that these are people that are both oppressed and uneducated and ignorant, right? They don't know what they don't know. They lean into what's been passed on to them. And they're as much victims of this system that we live in as we are, right? It is not that I make excuses. It is not that I would shy away from popping two in their dome if they came after me. No. It is that I understand how they come to be and I understand how they exist, right? Their problems are going to be more internal than anything. And I've really been thinking about this for like the last couple of days that like while we're worried about like kind of the legislative things and justifiably so. I mean, do we know the results of the House races? Are all of them in? Do we have control of the House? Somebody in the chat, let me know. There's a lot of stuff that could possibly happen legislative. What the hell is that? What is that? I'm sorry. ADD. Sorry. There's a lot that could happen there, but there's also not as much. It is hard to get bills passed in the United States Congress, and that's a reason for that. I think what the bigger issues are going to be are in their communities, within their own homes, right? I think that's where the big issues are going to come because somebody's uncle is going to do something to somebody's daughter and somebody's finally going to react, right? I've been thinking about this. I think the evangelical right is maybe a bit far gone. And no disrespect to all my Christians, right? Y'all know y'all are delusional. Y'all know y'all can be delusional, right? Come on. It's okay. Like I'm here for all delusions. I'm here for you believing in whatever you need to believe to get your ass through the day. But you know the Jesus thing is right. So I think they're too far gone to like convince them of other things, right? But not everybody in MAGA is an evangelical right-wing person, right? What happens with them? And then what happens with the tensions between the MAGA and the not MAGA within the same family, within the same communities, right? Not MAGA still voted for Trump, but they understand that that man has been lying about everything. They understand the threat that he poses to certain things. They still voted for him because they wasn't going to vote for the nigga wench. Oh, they gonna kick me off of YouTube one of these days. They wasn't gonna vote for her. They would vote for a black woman over their dead body. They would rather vote for Malcolm X than vote for Kamala Harris. But they have the tension. And that's what I think we're going to see, y'all. I think we're going to see them turn on each other before anything else. They're doing all these little displays right now. They're having their little fun or whatever. But when he takes office and shit hits the fan and they start realizing that their grocery prices are not going down, they're actually going up. When gas goes up, when there's no one to watch their kids, no one to tend to their farm, when all their crops are rotting, you know, all that stuff. Oh, you said 205. Oh, shit. That's not good. But they're going to turn on themselves, right? They're already having like, oh, you know, you can take the Obamacare as long as I keep my ACA, my, you know, affordable care. Okay. Girl, all right. We need to get rid of those food stamps, but leave my SNAP alone. That's how they sound. That's how they sound. And so it's just, to me, it's just been kind of interesting seeing that play out. Hold on, let me share this one. Hold on. Because there was a chart that I thought was really interesting. I want you all to see this. Hold on. You see? Okay. Can y'all see this? All right. All right. So the hate and harassment towards women, the volume of misogynistic posts online skyrocket, right? They're tracking uses of your body, my choice, get back to the kitchen, repeal the 19th. Now, repeal the night. This is going back to October 1st. So between October 1st and now, okay. Of course, we've heard get back to the kitchen. They've been saying that for like ever. We've heard repeal the 19th, right? The your body, my choice, that's new, right? So if you're looking at this chart, you can see that's actually new. And that came from Nick Fuentes, who I think they said that joint had like 5 million impressions or something like that. Like it's and all the likes that it got, right? So many people agree with it and support it and are just like, yes. Who was that guy that got kicked off of Threads? Like his name was like Craig or something like that. This grown man, a father, a husband, who people were able to find out who he was or whatever, was on Threads telling women that he was going to pry their legs open no matter how tight they keep them, and that they wouldn't have a choice if they, because they were talking about that they weren't going to have, they talk about the 4B movement. He was like, you don't have a choice. But Donald Trump also just said something like that. He says, I'm going to help women whether they like it or not. And when he says stuff like that, that's the stuff that I know is really Donald Trump. Donald Trump is very, very slickster, very tongue-in-cheek, very, he's like that. And he gets off on being able to say shit like that in front of people. And he thought that was funny. But he knew exactly what it meant, right? This denial of choice. And they've been saying that. Somebody said, can you find the chart? The chart is at, I'm going to post a link. Let me post a link here. Let me post it in the YouTube chat as well so you guys can see. Yeah, it's a lot. I am actually more worried about college age women right now, right? Because when we look at the statistics were showing that college educated women overwhelmingly vote for Harris, right? Doesn't matter their race, they all pretty much went to Harris. I see a world in which college age women are subjected to even more sexist tyranny than they have been. I'm a survivor of sexual assault in college, and it is so pervasive. It's almost like it's the norm. And Title IX, they do nothing. They do not. These offices don't do anything. These colleges and universities will always protect themselves first and foremost. They do not care about women. Do not trust your Title IX person. I don't care. They're Title IX folks, just like the DEI folks, just like HR. They all work for the university. Okay, so you can't really trust them. But I can absolutely see a surge in violence against women on college campuses. And I can see that being done as an act of terrorism, right? To push women out of college. Because many times women who have been victims of sexual assault in college end up leaving, right? Or they take a semester off. And then once you take a semester off, it's very hard to come back, right? So it becomes a weapon, right? It becomes a weapon in this gender war. And so I can see that happening more. I can see them feeling emboldened. I can see more people sliding into positions of power that are able to control these outcomes. You understand what I'm saying? I think I played on my Instagram over the summer. There was this clip, the Midas Touch had played it. It was this recording of folks talking about what they want to do Project 2025. And they were just saying, we've got to hire up people all this summer. We got to get ready. They knew he was going to win. I'm telling y'all, this is not a surprise that he won. They knew that he was going to win. They've been planning for it. And they were like, yes, if you want a job working to preserve America, we got to hire up. We got to hire like 4,000 people. We are looking for you. And they were talking to young people, recent college grads or what have you. Please understand, this movement on their side is also with the youth. This is not just some old white-haired, kind of thing. these young people are also radicalized in this way. 18 to 29, look at the men and all of how many of them, the majority of them voted for Trump. Something is really going on and is a consequence of long-term patriarchy and living under these kinds of things. Let me look at the chat, see what y'all been talking about. I don't think most, I'm going to be honest, and this is not me trying to be offensive towards, Jewish folks or whatever. I don't think anybody cares. I honestly don't. These people do. They used Israel as a talking point. They used, and that, to me, that was ridiculous. I've been on college campuses. I actually have a newspaper clipping from when I did a Black and Jewish solidarity event on campus. Like I've been in the trenches for this kind of stuff. And I'm gonna tell you, they don't give a damn about Jewish people. They really don't. They actually hate Jewish people. White supremacists hate Jewish people. They think you're spicy whites and they don't like spicy whites. Okay. They don't trust Jewish people. They're the ones who came up with anti-Semitism. That wasn't us. And yet, unfortunately, high-profile Jewish people tend to go after African Americans more than the white people who came up with the anti-Semitism and the white people who actually have the power to get rid of them, right? But anyway, I don't think that most people care about Israel. They don't care about Jewish people. They were using it for talking points. This whole release the hostages. They don't care about Jewish hostages. I'm not saying this to be offensive. I'm really not. Please understand that I'm just speaking the truth. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care what happens to the Palestinians. They don't care what happens to Israelis. They don't care. And if you remember the Klan hate Jewish people. They hate Black people. They hate immigrants. Like, I don't know why so many Jewish people align themselves with white supremacy. I don't know why so many Jewish people align themselves with people who hate them, but they do. And I know that anti-Blackness is like the most powerful currency in the world. So I understand that a lot of people subscribe to that. I would just caution those of you that are not Black and Jewish to stop and to release it, because they hate you too. They do. And so you're gonna have to pick a side. And you shouldn't pick their side. Because again, they'll put two in your dome and keep walking. They will not get the Nick Fuentes of the world. They hate you. So you might want to get on the right side. Yes, hence why Donald Trump turning away from Israel-Palestine is less about support of Israel and more about not caring about either side more than he's forced to. Absolutely. And I want you all to remember when Donald Trump was president, I did quite a bit of traveling during that time. And people in other countries love this guy. You know, the number one reason why people in other countries love Donald Trump is because of his America First agenda, in which he's like, America is going to pull out of interfering in all of this shit in all these other countries. They love that. They want the U.S. gone out of their lives. They want the U.S. troops gone. They want Americans out of their country. They want the United States to stop meddling in their political affairs. And so they love him when he talks about that. That whole Make America Great Again thing, they're like, good, leave, please, go. That should say something, folks. That should say something. You asked, is this what happened with Latin voters too? I think, well, first of all, what does it mean to be Latin, right? Haitians are Latin folks, but we won't get into that today. No, I think we have to remember that a lot of Latinos are white. A lot of Latinos are Black. A lot of Latinos are Asian. A lot of Latinos are indigenous. A lot of Latinos are mestizo and mixed, And there's a lot of white Latinos. Cameron Diaz is a white Latino, right? Martin Sheen, all of them. Yeah, they're white. Well, no, Charlie Sheen, I should say. Charlie Sheen. At least Emilio kept his name. They made him the black sheep of the family. That's a great question, I think, because the world is about to end. So, I hate to be all tinfoil hat about things, right? But I just read today that the record temperatures we have today have taken us like right at the tipping point of what the climate people have been predicting for many, many years. Like, if we reach that point, it's the point of no return. They said this year our climate is going to take us there, which means I think they were saying they were trying to like fix things before 2030. That deadline is now. We have reached the point of no return when it comes to climate. And these fools just put somebody in office who doesn't believe in climate change, doesn't believe in global warming, thinks that any efforts to fix it is the green new scam. We're done. Yes, war accelerates climate change, and there's so much war going on. So somebody on Threads hit me up because they were upset that I was talking about climate change. And I was like, it hasn't been this hot. He's like, when was the last time it was that hot? I was like, oh, around 1940. And they were like, see, it's been hot like that before. I was like, what was happening in 1940? When the world is at war, it heats up the fucking planet. Okay? When y'all dropping bombs every day, when y'all are shooting off ammo, anybody ever shot a gun? The shit is hot. It's hot. You're destroying infrastructure that protects us. When you bomb a building and that building collapses, it is no longer providing shadow. Okay? It is no longer cooling the environment. This is why in Philadelphia, there are neighborhoods that are 20 degrees hotter every summer than other neighborhoods because they don't have trees and they don't have tall buildings. Okay? That's kind of how it works. What do I know? I'm just a negress. What do I know? Right? But they don't believe this. They actually think that we should be happy that, on November 9th, or November, I should say yesterday, because it's a little bit cooler today. But that on November 8th, I was on my deck grilling some steak and some ribs. No, I wasn't happy about that shit, but guess what? I'm going to live my best life. Yeah, they gave us 10 years 5 years ago. They gave us 10 years. I remember Project 2030. They gave us 10 years and said, if we don't fix this by 2030, we are done. They just updated the information in the algorithm. They're like, nah, we're done now. We're done. We're done now. Yep. All the plants. Look what they're doing to the Amazon. Come on. That's it. This is okay. So I just need somebody to feel me on this. Y'all, this shit is ending. We are over. And it's like, we can live in existential dread. And I feel like at least twice a day, I'm like, oh my God, shit, we're going to die. But then I come back. Yeah, we are. And Trump's presidency, him being elected, I'm sorry, it's in the cards. It's in the stars. It's all, we just happen to be alive right now. That's all. We just happen to be. I was listening to a podcast. Okay, so I listen, I read a lot. I listen to a lot of smart people. I like listening to scientists and nerds talking about shit that I had no idea about. They were talking about some bacteria or parasite or something that they found in our homes, on our HVAC machines and things like that. They were like, you can go and look for it. These people are begging us to look in our homes and see if we have this bacteria because they think they have that they are the key to saving us from the destruction of climate change. And when I heard the urgency in their voice, it sounded like they were trying to temper it, but they were like, please go look at your HVAC. Look at this. Like, you can go on NPR or whatever. Like, please look at this and see if you have this. Because if you have this could save the world. I was like, oh my God. They're at the point now where we've got to find freaking parasites and bacteria in our homes to save the world. My God. We are donezo. We're done. We're done. And this is why I'm here. Somebody asked for podcast recommendations. I listen to most of the ones on NPR. The money, I listen to the economy podcast, like all the ones that talk about money, because they're so much smarter than I am when it comes to that. I listen to the ones about the environment and climate change. So just go on NPR and you can kind of look them up by category and stuff. We're done. You said it sounds like evolution. So here's the other podcast that I was listening to. They were talking about dinosaurs. I'm very interested. I don't want to be a paleontologist. My mom wanted to be a marine biologist or a paleontologist, and she never got an opportunity. But I listened to that kind of stuff. And they found these kind of evidence that there was a point where dinosaurs faced some major impact, right? Because they're always trying to figure out, how did the dinosaurs die? Like, what happened? Well, they may have proof now that it was like an extinction level event, because they're judging by the way that the fossils and the bones were around each other and how they were separated. Like they found dinosaurs literally like holding each other. And then they found parts of their bodies like blown kind of like a little bit down the way. So their idea, like they're thinking that some extinction level event happens that caught them by surprise. Because they were like, they couldn't find evidence that they'd been hoarding food or anything like that. Like it caught them by surprise. And so they say that that can help us understand what's happening now, right? Like almost like an earth reset. I'm telling you, I love this stuff. I'm such a nerd. I'm such a dork. I love this stuff. So yeah, I'm just like, that is so fascinating to me. Yes, switch to heat pumps, better for environment, more effect. Yeah, but they were just telling us to look on our pipes for these bugs or whatever they are. Okay. Yeah, no, and there's a lot of people, some of our Christian fundies that don't believe that dinosaurs existed. No, they were here, and you know where they found the T-Rex, the first T-Rex in New Jersey. Mm. They also found the largest dinosaur. The largest dinosaur. Anybody ever know what the name of the largest dinosaur is? If you've been following my kids' band season, you'd know this story. The largest dinosaur is called Dreadnoughtus. And the reason it's called Dreadnoughtus is because it had no predators. Because it was the largest, most like beastly dinosaur in the world. They had no predators. And so they said, because their show was called Dreadnoughtus Fears Nothing. So this dinosaur had nothing to fear because they had no predator. They were the apex predator, right? And they found it here in Jersey. They found the fossils here in Jersey. So it's pretty cool. But there are people that think that dinosaurs don't exist. Oh, it's huge. It's huge, huge, huge. Let me see. How big is Dreadnoughtus? You know you could have done this too, right? 26 meters, 85 feet in length, weighing 48 to 49 tons. Oh, actually, well, yeah, 108,000 pounds was probably the maximum mass. Head to neck length, 40 feet. Tail was 29 feet. Yeah. It had no predators. Yeah, it's huge. It had no predators. But there's people that believe. So anyway, I'm tying this all back. Attention deficit. Let's go back. We all gonna die. And I think that probably was the extinction level event. The Dreadnoughtus were trying to have sex. No, but something happened, and it doesn't seem like it was a drifted kind of thing. They're thinking that it really was like a holy shit, we're all gonna die. And I think that's how we're all gonna go too. I think the day after tomorrow was a good indication of things. You know how they had that man walk from DC to New York to find his kid in the snow? Listen, my heart of hearts. I'll do my best. I might make it from Union Station to Baltimore. That's all I got. That's all I got in me. Love you, kid. You're gonna have to meet me halfway. We're gonna die. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. And it's okay. Oh gosh. But we'll be here together. Understand, I will be that person. I will play the violin until the last minute, y'all. I will broadcast for us. We'll be here together. Pour up a drink. Even my teetotalers, y'all gonna have to pour up a drink. It's gonna be the end. You got to smoke something if you ain't never smoked something before. You got to take an edible if you ain't never took something before. We gonna get through it together. Matter of fact, we'll all do it together. We'll just take some edibles, take about 10 more than what you normally would, and just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. Go to sleep and act like you're gonna wake up in 2 days. It's just that we're not gonna wake up. Okay. We're gonna die. Oh my God. Oh, I'm not trying to make light of this. Please understand. I know this is your work. I really appreciate your work. Thank you for what you do. We're gonna die. We are down bad. Okay. We are down disastrous. All I'm saying, grab your favorite drink, grab your favorite herb, your favorite mushroom, smoke a little crack if you need to. Listen, if you got to do that meth, ain't nobody judging. Get the hair on, go. Whatever you need to do. Because we're all gonna die. Welcome, everybody, welcome Ronald to the live. Oh. Well, you said we have a wildfire and crazy house fire here in Jersey City. Everything is fine. No, we haven't had rain in a month. My lawn is so dry because my kid won't go and water my stuff. Everybody's lawn in my community is gone. I actually was walking. I went to the liquor store and I was walking back, and you could hear the grass crunching under my feet. I was like, "What? It's November." We have had red flag warnings the whole week. Folks in New York weigh in. Folks in Brooklyn, I believe, Jersey City, they said they in northern Jersey said that they could smell smoke, right? Because there's like some wildfire stuff going on in Jersey City, all places. Okay. So we're in a drought. They're telling us not to use too much water. Y'all know I take 35-minute showers like 3 times a day. My bad. It's better on my body than on the grass. It's raining every day. Where are you? Y'all don't have a monsoon season in Phoenix? And no, it's all dried up. It's all, somebody said not heroin. No, you got to do heroin. This is your time to try it. So many people do heroin. You might as well figure out what it's all about. You don't have to inject it. I don't think you can smoke it. Just right there. No judgments. This is a judgment-free show, okay? I might do all five. If the white supremacists don't get us, if the misogynists don't get us, if the ignorant ass MAGAs don't get us, climate change is gonna get us. Oh, you said try MDMA for the end of the world. Your brain will literally not be able to worry about it. That's how I feel about psilocybin. You're not going to have a choice. The end of the world is going to be the best feeling you've ever had in your life. I take it when I have my depressive episodes because it forces me to laugh and to be happy. And I can be in the most deep and dark spot in the world, but I will come, and I've had that where I've been like on lives where like I was having really bad dark times, but I took one of my shrooms and I was just like, I couldn't help but be happy. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do it. Okay. Absolutely. What's discussed here stays here. Okay. Listen, theater friends, like, speaking of, rest in peace to Judith Jameson. Judith Jameson, let me see if I can pull up a picture for those who don't know. Icon, passed away. Let me share this. Judith Jameson, such a strikingly beautiful woman. Oh, they haven't even filled this in yet. Yeah, she passed away. She was an artistic director. She was a dancer. I mean, one of the most powerful dancers you'll ever see in your life. I'm happy that I was able to see her perform. And like in 1989, she was handpicked by Alvin Ailey to lead the dance troupe, making her the first Black woman to direct a major dance company. She served as the company's artistic director for 20 years. Okay, she received the Kennedy Center honor and was named one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people. That is our good sister, Judith Jameson. So rest in peace to her. We also lost my man, Tony Todd. This one, y'all know I'm a horror fan. This one hit me. This one hit me hard. Tony was young. Tony's younger than my dad. Like Candyman, y'all. Candyman died. Like that's, like, come on, like, rest in peace to the God, So we've been losing people. Quincy Jones, misogynist that he was, he just also died. And, it's hard. The thing about Quincy Jones is, he was a brilliant, this is why I don't like when people call R. Kelly a genius, because people like Quincy Jones existed, right? I don't understand how Give Me That Toot Toot, Give Me That Beat Beat is in anywhere like comparable to the score from The Color Purple. Like I have a different understanding of what genius means. You said, why are we losing a lot of old Black celebs this year? Well, like I said earlier, I said the last time we had this many iconic deaths was 2016. And the only thing that year has in common with this one is that Donald Trump was also elected president that year. If astrology ain't real, then tell me why that happened. Tell me why Prince and Bowie were like, I'm just saying. They said, you know what? We not. They pieced out. So, no, they never could. Like, I don't understand how anybody could talk about R. Kelly being a genius. I believe I could fly. I believe I could touch the sky. See, my 5-year-old could have written that. Like, how is that genius? Like, please shut the fuck up. Gwen Eiffel died that year. Prince died, Bowie, everybody died in 2016. I mean, honestly, like, we could go and recap. It was one of the longest in memoriams that we've seen on any award show. And everybody was gone. So this drink, yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. This is a blood orange margarita on the rocks with a Tajín rim. So I made that in my little house. I likes to drink a little bit. I likes me a little cocktail. George Michael. Yeah, George Michael was horrible. Yeah, he couldn't read. Couldn't read. A lot of people out here can't read. I'm just saying. So yeah. Yeah, what else happened in the news today? Hold on. Oh, I saw in New York. Oh, Bobby Allison died. NASCAR Hall of Famer. Oh, wow. Everybody's dying. People are dying that they died before. Qatar suspended its mediator efforts for Gaza ceasefire due to lack of good faith negotiations. Does that have anything to do with the fact that the United States was like, I'm sorry? Because, Biden kind of just admitted that, that all of that working around the clock for a ceasefire shit was bullshit. So what do I think of Gavin Newsom? I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about white men. So yeah, I'll let the Cali folks talk because I don't give them that much energy. I don't. So that was tough. Let's see. Barron Trump is very tall, kind of like weirdly tall. I'm just saying, like, I don't know where that came from. So did y'all see in New York, like I said, so in New York, there was like a Trump caravan today. And they were out there and all their cars were like wrapped in like Trump and MAGA flags. Something said like ultimate MAGA or something, or ultra MAGA or something like that in New York City. And you know it was them Staten Island boys, them Brooklyn boys, them Long Island boys. But like, you know what? You are so messy. You're so messy. You're so messy. But yeah, so even in New York City, right? One of the most liberal cities in the planet, you know, and somebody mentioned, you know, there's a rise of right wing, you know, sentiment and fascism and things like that. Again, I just think it's all because it's pointing towards the end of the world. Like it really is. Because again, I want people to understand that those folks are actually the minority in terms of numbers. They have more money though, right? They've got the Elon Musks and the Mark Zuckerbergs on their side. And so with money comes power. And so they're like, you know, they could be maybe 20% of the population, but the money they have gives them the influence of like 80%. And so, and they all meet up. Like, please don't act like these people don't talk to each other and don't coordinate shit. Why do you think the United States has their hand in so many things? Why do you think the United States helps people stage coups? Why do you think the United States pours millions of dollars into defeating certain people, duly elected, democratically elected people? Why do you think the United States does that? It's because they're all kind of in conjunction, working together to create a world where the richest people, the richest men, right? White men at the top and then the others, they just get to live their lives. That's really it at our expense. And, you know, correct. They have their, you know, what? Hillary's trying to get a spot in the White House right now. What? Is that real? Oh. Yeah, they have the ability to control everything. But they can't organize a brunch in a donut shop. They might be rich, but they're also inept. So here's the thing. Money allows you to buy people who are smart, right? Oh, Bezos, yes. Vanessa said Jeff Bezos, or however you want to pronounce it. Like, you don't have to be talented or smart when you're rich. You can hire people to do things for you. You can buy people. You ain't got to worry about it. So, yeah. What else is happening in the news today? Who is Nick Fuentes? We don't need to know that. Okay. Gen Z boys are telling women your body, my choice. Oh yeah, I did see this this TikTok of this this young woman. Let's see, share this tab instead. Day one, is it on the screen? It's not on the screen. Okay. She said, day one, I had to delete a video because I was being threatened by several men commenting that they couldn't wait until I get raped or your body, my choice. So I just want to make it clear that misogyny online has long been a problem, right? It's not anything new. I actually wrote an article in the New York Times about that. Bylines, bitch. You know, I wrote about this, right? This is not anything new. Part of why folks haven't paid as much attention to how pervasive it is because many of the targets haven't been young white women, right? They tend to go after folks like me and some other folks and activists and things like that. And so they haven't really cared much. We've been complaining a long time. Look at people, Shafika Hudson, rest in peace, Sadette Harry, you know, other folks that have been really talking about this stuff online, just going ignored. Wait, you said what? Did I miss you going over dump Trump's info sandwich, CIA oversight, news media control, and then term limits? I didn't go over any of that. I'm sorry. And at this point, I've got booze in me. So if you guys want me to talk about something, you could just DM me and say, hey, can you look into this? I mean, I'll do it, you know. Yeah, you know, well, you're not nobody. You're one of us. We love you. But yeah, no, they'll threaten anybody, really. But like they want to target people with blue checks because for some reason they think that's going to get them more visibility. Yes, those reports to the plantation tax were off the charts. I also saw some women got ones that said that was similar and saying, you're now a breeder, you know, report to such and such. So this was obviously a coordinated effort, you know, what have you. My speculation is that they maybe got some of the lists from the College Board, because when the young people sign up for the College Board or register for the College Board, which they have to do if they're taking AP tests and signing up for the, SAT and all these things like that, they do put their race, they do put their ages, things like that. So it's easy to get that information. They put their phone numbers. It's easy to get that information and be able to send that. Because I was like, how did they get all these people's information? Like, why did my son get one and I didn't? Like, it wasn't a household thing. And I was like, oh, he does use College Board. So it's possible that that's why that happened. But this is all pointing towards the end. And honestly, and I said this the other night on the live, I said, please live your lives as best as you can. And I know a lot of us out here struggling. Trust me, I know. But that's why we got to pull together more now than any time before, right? We gotta do the mutual aid. You got $1, somebody saying that they need help with something, give them $1. And then when you need help with something, we got $1 for you. That's how we're gonna make this. I've been in a susu if you don't know what a susu is, it's like it's a community savings program where you sign up, and if it's 12 of you, each month you all pay like $100 to the person whose month it is. So that person gets $1,100 that month. And then each month you just kind of pass it around. Everybody, you got your 1,100, so you pay 100 a month for the next 11 months, so that everybody gets the opportunity to get $1,100, right? That is African cultural values, right? That is old. That is an old way of community care. We call it cooperative economics, right? Ujamaa. We're going to have to do stuff like that. That's how we're going to make it. That's how we're going to survive. So we're going to see people. Somebody had sent me, some people had sent me some cash to help with down payment on my car. And then Katie was posting about her car and I sent her some money, like that's what we have to do. We have to take care of each other. Like, we don't have no choice right now. But these kinds of things have existed in certain communities for very long. It is how we have, some people always ask, like, how have you survived? This is how we have survived. By building community, by having mutual aid, by supporting each other and knowing that we will be supported in return. You have to contribute. You have to do your part. You have to contribute. And that's how we make it happen. I don't know if I was going to be able to get this car right now. I had to, though, because right now, more than ever, like I told y'all, there's somebody right there who flies a Confederate flag in front of their house. I've shown you guys it. It's like literally walking distance from my house. Those Trump Vance signs popped up in my neighborhood real fast. And I was like, well, damn, I've been talking to you this whole time. I didn't know you was a bigot. And so for me, I'm just like, I got to be able to get out of here. I got to have a car. Can't wait for Uber. And, having my car stolen couldn't have come at a worse time. But because of you all, you watch this, you support what I do with Political Theater with Dr. T, you support my Patreon. Some of you made donations. I really appreciate you. Somebody said growing up in Liberia, that's how we survive. Absolutely. Again, African cultural values is what we do. So, oh, yes. Thank you so much. I did. And so I still have to cover a gap. Because I know they're not going to pay me the full price of what I still owe on the car. But whatever value they give to the car, they're going to pay the insurance company. And then I have to pay the rest of the loan that I had. So I have to try to figure that out. But at least I have a car. What's my Patreon? Oh, I'll put it. It's Feminista Jones. Patreon.com/Feminista Jones. You all can sign up there. And I do have good content. If you're on my Patreon, not a lot of Patreon folks make consistent content. I do. You get different stuff at different levels. Some stuff I'll do, it'll be open to all members, whether you're paid or not, but that's rare. I do more stuff. The more money you pay, the more I generally share. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. I will keep speaking as long as I can until they take my microphone away. I will continue to speak. But as I was saying, I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful to the community support. I have many times have seen people in these kinds of situations and I have given them money. I don't know them from a can of paint, but that's what we're supposed to do, right? I don't care if they say thank you. I don't care nothing. This person was in need and I gave them what I had at the time and what I was able to do. That's who I am. So I became a social worker. That's who I am. I grew, y'all know I grew up poor. I've experienced homelessness. Like I've been in many situations where I've had to rely on the kindness of strangers. And that's the least that we could do. So this is how we're gonna make it. Oh, thank you so much. This is how we're gonna make it, y'all. This is how we're gonna be all right. And I love that we can kind of gather in these spaces because sometimes you just need to hear that, right? Um, every day we are being now inundated with stuff. It was the racist text, it was the your body, my choice. It's all of this stuff that's happening. It's an onslaught, right? And emotionally, we're not necessarily equipped to deal with that. First of all, the human brain was not designed to be this overstimulated. That's why everybody's like, oh, why does everybody have ADD now? Well, because our brains are fucked up. Like the human brain was not designed to have to juggle all of this input, all of this stimulation. And so we're frazzled. Our brains are frazzled. Now I was diagnosed 30 years ago. And I remember, my doctor describing it at the time. And it was like, the average person, if you look at the brain as like a pack of firecrackers, they say the average person has 2 or 3 firecrackers going off at one time. It's like, you've got most of the pack going off all the time. And we do have medication that can bring you down to maybe 5 or 6 firecrackers going off. And my mother was like, no, she's not taking your white medicine. Queer Black feminist that she was. So I had to cope. And I think what eventually happened was that I learned to kind of see it as a superpower. And I've learned to harness my my ADD symptoms into what you see today. Right? So it is what it is. But if people want to know why more people are being diagnosed with these kinds of things, it's because we are completely overstimulated. We were not meant for a 24-hour news cycle, constant scrolling on social media, the screen time, our eyes, everything like this. Like I'm talking to you all in this and I'm like, I got to look away from the screen. I got to remember to do that, right? It's why we're having struggle sleeping. We can't turn it off. We can't shut down. They said that women are supposed to get at least 10 hours of sleep a night. We're not getting 10 hours of sleep. Like I spent a lot of time thinking because of my ADHD, like it's hard to shut off my brain at night. My psych meds have been helping with that, of course. And that's why also I take gummies. They put me to sleep. You do what you got to do. If I need to go to sleep, 2 in, knocked out. Good. If I really need to sleep, but you learn how to cope with these things. But we were not supposed to be here. We were not supposed to be here. Yeah, of course. You got diagnosed at 46. And a lot of women are getting diagnosed later in life because of medical sexism and sexism within, the psychiatric and, behavioral health fields. All their stuff, all their criteria is based on white men, and everybody else is being diagnosed based on those criteria. They think that women are hysterical. When's the last time a man who wasn't gay got diagnosed with being histrionic? Throw the DSM away. I know you cop therapists are watching. It's okay. But you know what I said. Somebody over here said they got DX'd at 45. That's right. That's right. Yeah, see? Your body's like, no, we actually do need this. And then when you don't get it, then your body the algorithm kind of updates and your body is just like, oh, well, we're going to adjust to this. And we're just, okay, this is who we are and this is what we're going to do. So yeah, and it eats away at you. You wonder why you're gaining, the extra weight because you're not getting enough rest. You're not getting enough sleep. It's all of that. But anyway, I'm so glad that I was able to come here tonight with you all. We're over an hour. I am actually going to rest. I'm going to play my video game for the rest of the evening. I'm going to watch some trash TV and some other YouTubers that I subscribe to. I like catching up on their stuff. I've been catching up on the show Found. Also make sure you go to anotherjaneprattthing.com, I'm going to put it in the chat here. Another JanePrattThing.com. I am writing over there. I am doing film and television reviews over there. Please go check them out. I've reviewed the show Found. My recent one was Grotesquerie. I just did Martha. I reviewed her documentary. I told y'all not to go see Salem's Lot. You went and saw it anyway, and then you came back to me like, damn, you were right. I told you that it's called Feminista is Watching, so you don't have to. But if I think that you should watch it, I'll recommend, okay? Found is a great show. Oh, I am playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. I am catching up with Jafar and Timon and Pumbaa right now. I'm trying to level them up to level 10. I am getting through this star path. This kind of 80s rock star path has been pretty fun. And yeah. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna take a shower first. I do take a lot of showers, y'all. I do. And yes, Joker was amazing. Also, you can go to my other YouTube, youtube.com, Professor Cinephile, or I also do video reviews. I've done fewer of them recently because I have been writing, but I still do those over there as well. Thank you, Vanessa, as my editor over there. I've worked with Vanessa on other projects, and it's really been awesome having a Black woman have your back like that. So, you know, it's one of those things. Like, she came to me and she was just like, hey, we're working on this new thing. You got anything you want to write about? And I was just like, oh my gosh, right after I finished, you know, grad school, which took up my whole life. Like, yes, I got things to write about. So I appreciate her for looking out for me. Am I getting the new expansion pack? Oh, what kind of question is that? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, you know, I remember, so God, this is not, I'm not a gaming streamer, although people have told me I should go on Twitch and do that. I'm not a gaming streamer, but I knew when we got a Rift in Time and the docs had like 7 different things and Rift in Time was only one. I was like, yo, they have built out this world. We gonna get all the DLC. So it's gonna be really awesome. I'm not telling them niggas shit because they are doing nigga shit tonight and I'm not happy with it. My nigga Dez keeps pissing on my carpet, okay? And I need him to stop, and he won't. And then Fink keeps running out the front door. But today she ran right back because it was too goddamn cold outside. Wow. I just saw somebody mention Dr. Hall, and I was like, oh, what's he got to say? Man tried to take over my show. I'm still not okay with that. He really did try to take over my show. I get up to go get some food. I come back. He's entertaining the crowd, and they're all talking about, yay, Dr. Hall. Like, this is my show. This is my show. But anyway, if you do want to leave a tip, Cash App, Feminista Jones, Fem Jones, goddamn, Venmo, Fem Jones, PayPal is contact@feministajones.com. I really appreciate you. I will see y'all next time. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this video on your way out, or if you just got here, make sure you like the video on YouTube. I'm trying to get my YouTube views up, and I'm trying to get my hours up so I can maybe monetize it. And obvious our Found reviews on Patreon. I don't know if I posted it on Patreon, y'all, but if you go to Another Jane Pratt Thing, they're right there. You can go and get that as well. No, I'm still mad this nigga came on my show and was just like, I'm here, I'll take over. And then I come back and you all like are happy with him. And I'm just like, wow, hello, this is my show. But I appreciate you. Like I said, subscribe, because when you subscribe and then you make sure you have your notifications on for me, you will be notified when I go live. Also check Threads. I know it's not necessarily chronological. Plus, a lot of people are coming over to Threads now from Twitter. So my stuff may get buried. Make sure you follow me on Threads. For those who have missed me on Twitter and you're like, oh, why can't I find your account? I changed my name months ago so that you could not find me. If you see anybody's account that says Feminista Jones, it is not me. I am not there, okay? But I have been on Threads. It's been a great year on Threads. I'm very happy that so many of you are coming over there. But, you know, before you kick in the door, learn how we do things over there. I love you all so much. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. We're going to be fine. And I will see you all next time. Have a good evening.